In this quick video, we're going to look at the plan page here in Ultimate Brain. This is a page that is entirely built to help you look ahead at what is coming up in your near future and plan it out. So first and foremost, you have this little priorities area. And this is an area that is not database driven. It's not fancy in any way, but it is a place for you to very specifically write out the priorities in your life right now. And I included this because I think it's important to be clear on where your focus is at any given time and at any given chapter of your life. This is important because when new things come into your life, you want to run them through the filter of, is this going to distract me from that which I have said is very important to me right now? And if it's not worth doing, it's not worth a distraction, you may want to get out of your life. This is actually sort of a simplified version of the Now page that I maintain on my website. So if you want to see that, you can actually go over to thomasjfrank.com/now. And this was a concept created by Derek Sivers. So there's a whole ton of people on the internet that have Now pages on their website. And this is an area where I try to publicly state, these are my priorities at this given time in my life. And because these are my priorities, I'm probably going to reject new things that come in unless they are particularly exciting. Now, it does look like I need to actually update this because I haven't updated it since August of last year. And one cool thing about Notion is it's a lot quicker and easier to update something like this than it is to update a public web page. In addition to this priorities area, we have the this quarter area and look ahead area. And this is actually where we can see the goals and projects within our system that are within this quarter or that are scheduled for the future. We've got Q1, 2, 3, 4, and for years ahead, we have a whole little drop down as well. So when you're using the goals area or the project tracker in Ultimate Brain, or you're setting up goals or projects inside of a specific area, when you give those a target deadline, that target deadline will determine where they're going to show up here on the plan page. So right now, we are in Q2 of 2022. As I record this, it is currently April 15th, 2022. So that means we are in Q2, which means any goal or project that I create with a target deadline within this quarter is going to show up right here. So we can see I have hit a 1,200 pound powerlifting total in our goals. The target deadline is June 30th, 2022, which is the last day of Q2. So I do see it here. And then underneath projects, I've got a couple of projects that also have target deadlines within this quarter. So that is how you would plan out quarters in your life. And I'm actually a very big fan of the 90-day planning philosophy or 90-day sprints. I think it's kind of tough to really plan in an actionable sense what you're going to do for an entire year, but it's very easy to plan what you're going to do in 3 months. It's just a much more graspable frame of time, I think. However, if you really wanted to plan out a specific year instead of quarter, it would actually be very easy to do that. And I had one customer already who asked me how they would do this. So I'm going to show it to you in this video. And it's very, very easy. All you would do is copy the this quarter area, including the heading and the database, and paste it beneath this quarter. So I'm going to make essentially a copy of this, but I'm going to rename it to this year. And I'm going to change one small filter. If I come to the filters here and I look at the two rules I have set up, I have archived is unchecked, which I want. I don't want anything in the archive to show up basically anywhere else in my system. And I also have where this quarter is checked. This quarter is a formula inside of Ultimate Brain that essentially checks that the goal or the project is indeed within the current quarter. I could simply change this quarter to this year, and I would get an entire year view instead. So now everything inside of 2022 is showing up in my goals area. I would do the same thing for projects, going over to this quarter and changing it to this year. And now I would have a year view instead of a quarter view. So that's how you would do that if you really wanted to. It's not currently in Ultimate Brain as I'm recording this. It may be something I add in the future, and I'll have to make a change log for that, but that is how you would add it yourself if you want to. And hopefully that also gives you a bit of context for how you could make some changes by copying views and then tweaking the filters, ensuring that you leave the other filters that are still important, such as the archived filter. Down here, you can actually look ahead and kind of see your entire year at a glance anyway by opening your quarter lists and seeing what sort of goals and projects you have inside of each quarter. And then in the years ahead area, if you had things with target deadlines in 2023 or in future years, depending on whatever year it is when you watch this. And that is pretty much everything there is to know about the plan view inside of Ultimate Brain.